Well, Ancient Watcher is presumably one of the best keeps for this deck. Although I did remove one of the activators. I seem to be having trouble drawing activators now. We didn't draw any of the new cards last game, did we? No, we didn't. Oh, except for the Mortuary Machine, which didn't really pan out that game, unfortunately. I think that it almost did. We got close. We got him down to 2 health. Hey there, Percival. Yeah, it's a little better than hitting 4 1 out of 5s out of 6 because you can't. Oh, wait, no, because they were all 2 health or higher. It's completely equivalent to that, isn't it? Yeah. So it's just 6 choose 4 out of 5, divided by 5 to the 6th. Which, yeah, it's that's a little less than 1 out of 5 to the 4th, which is 625. Yeah, it's around 1 out of 1,000, I think, roughly. Not great odds, but literally the only chance we had from that position, I think. Not drawing our silences these days, are we? Yeah, I think we just be aggressive here. If he has, yeah, I don't really see any reason not to be aggressive, honestly. I guess if he has a double Shadow Word Death or something, but I'm pretty sure he would have played one of them last turn. Let's just keep going face. You gotta try to race Priest, but it's tough. Priest is a pretty bad matchup. Yeah. Maybe this would be better as a Delirian Librarian. Might want to switch that back to a Delirian Librarian. Delirian Librarian is one of the worst cards in the deck statistically. Let's see here. It's the second to worst card. It was even worse than Shadow Word Death. But if I added another silenceable target like Mortuary Machine, that should raise the value of all of the silences, so maybe it would still be worth running 2 Delirian Librarians once I add the Mortuary Machine. There is a Delirian Librarian though, and now it seems like everything is working out just fine, right? Because I dropped this Conjured Mirage here, and then I silence that away, and I just, keep going face place. Gotta rush that priest down. Oh, thanks for following, Bully Based. Are you, the same person? What was it? Ignatz? Something like that? Can't see it anymore. For some reason I can't See who's watching. Alright, cool. Good to see you, Bully Beast. This is similar to the deck that I used to get to Legend in the first place, but I've changed 4-ish cards right now, and I'm also kind of experimenting. I don't necessarily think all the cards that I'm using right now are actually good. But that's how you figure out which ones are good, presumably. Normally I might try to protect that, but I don't really have any way to use it anyway, and I'm getting close to closing the game out, so I think I'd rather just go face. And I'll heal over playing something else in case he's getting ready to clear my board. Ooh, okay. 500 Demon Hunter wins. I played a little bit of Demon Hunter last season. It was kind of fun, but I felt like the cards were all pretty much based on just sort of functioning well on their own, and I kind of like playing cards that have interesting synergy and don't necessarily function very well by themselves. Oh shoot, I gotta remove the old deck list. That's just confusing things. Sorry about that. This should be better. Oof, silence. Where'd that silence come from? Renew, yeah, shoot. Starting to run out of steam already. And I gotta kill that thing, I think. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Maybe I just keep going face, hope for the best. Well, let's try to get a good Veilweaver chain going first. Seems like I should be able to do something with this. I think the Holy Nova is still just better. Unsleeping Soul seems pretty good though. 27, 20, yeah, this is probably a slightly better target. That's not super helpful right now. What do we have here? Oh man. I think I just gotta try to push for it. I'm not gonna beat this priest in the long game. And I've got one more turn to close it out before he Plague of Deaths the board. So this is my last ditch attempt to win before it's too late. I'm threatening 10, 14 damage. He has 7 health, so we can count it down from there. Got nothing in my hand right now. There's not much hand damage, especially since I removed Apotheosis. There's basically just that 1 extra you can get from Psyche Split. Whoa, he sent that Renew to his minion. Does that mean that he thinks that he can't survive otherwise? No. He can survive otherwise. He can just kill the Ancient Watcher, and that alone would be enough. Oh no, he'd have to heal face too. I think he screwed up. He definitely could have won if he... Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's not over yet. Oh, he had the coin? So he didn't coin Plague of Death. That's interesting. Man. What do I do here? I think I just kill these things. It's annoying, but Now I threaten lethal with a silence at least. I'm kind of counting on the fact that he would have Plague of Death last turn if he had it, but he might not have because he did have kind of a board last turn. Seemed like a risky play though. I don't really get wrecked by a Soul Mirror, but if he took a Plague of Death... No, he didn't. He took a Pain. Ah, that was... Yeah. I mean, I love my Veil Weavers too, but they're a real pain whenever you're against them. I gotta kill it again. Oh man, here we go. Mortuary Machine. Let's do it again. Hopefully it pans out better this time. I think at this point I have to assume that if he had a board clear he would have played it, so I'm just going to drop everything, hope for the best. Because he kind of dice rolled 2 turns ago when he wouldn't have had to if he had a board clear, so he would have had to draw it in the last 2 turns. And honestly, even last turn he probably would have taken the board clear if he had one. So now our main concern is that he drops like a big taunt. That's not going to help him. Got him. Nice. Good one. Well, you can definitely learn how to play Demon Hunter by seeing someone else facing Demon Hunter. So if we run into a Demon Hunter, maybe that'll help you out bully based. Although we're playing kind of a strange deck that you probably won't run into too much. I see that it's like, on HS Replay it's like 0.3% of games or something like that with this Silent Priest. My game's bugged out on viewers. That's fine. Holy Nova's not that great in this matchup. Yeah, none of this stuff. The Conjured Mirage actually worked out pretty well last game. We got pretty good value out of that thing. So that's good. The thing is that all of the silenceable targets, you don't need to silence necessarily for them to be effective. Even the Watchers, if you don't silence them, a lot of times your opponent will kill them anyway because they know that they have to, just in case you do have a silence. If you do have the silence, they're so deadly. We'll see what this rogue does, but a lot of times on 3 they'll just send that, do 3 damage to an undamaged minion, undamaged character. Or even, yeah, a backstab. So yeah, he's just going to go straight out and kill it. I'm usually mulliganing. The first focus is on getting a demon or a watcher in my hand, and I mulligan pretty hard to get those. After that I'm looking for combo pieces. In certain matchups I'll take other things, like Holy Nova's good if you expect aggro, or like anything that goes wide, so like Demon Hunter, Druid, no, some other stuff. It's hard to think about it offhand. I wrote a guide for this deck where I went into the mulligans much more carefully, but I would say that that's sort of the general idea. And the combos you're looking for are like silencing your watchers, duplicating minions, like using a Faceless Rager on a demon that pops out, stuff like that. Well, I'll give him 1 turn with this Mortuary Machine. Hopefully he's out of removal. He already just spent a bunch of it. And then next turn I can Veil Weaver, Unsleeping Soul, and maybe coin into a Smite if he gives me something that's smiteable. Nope, he's still got tons of removal. Alright, well, I think I need to make something happen here, so I'm going to attack with him. Oh shoot, I screwed up. I meant to copy with the Faceless Rager first. It's difficult to... Hey, that was a good one. Why was he playing this? The The bottom legend ranks start to get weird. I'd be willing to Unsleeping Soul that. If he doesn't damage it. And lose the taunt. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll also steal its health. Alright. Stringing something together here. I'm gonna lose my Veil Weaver, but I managed to get some value out of it before it died. This Mass Resurrect would be a good board refill, although you tend to get weird stuff back with this deck. This deck is not designed to give you good Mass Resurrection. Alright. So I'd like to not give him a board so that that guy... Ooh, there's our guy. I think we just keep pressing here. I don't know, would I be happy about Mass Resurrecting Octosari or unhappy? Might be happy about... Okay, never mind, he doesn't have Galacron out yet. Okay, that would have been devastating otherwise. Devastating. Oh, that's probably bad. I better close this game out quickly. This should make him do something. I love Octosari. So cool. Oh, that's bad. It's not over because we do have a full hand again, but it's going to be tough to keep tempo now. I'm not worried about overdrawing that one at all. What do I got here? What is this? I do have a librarian. I think maybe we just start with this Mass Resurrection. Interesting. We have a board again someday. I'm actually going to let this Conjured Mirage go back. Okay, here's my hope. My hope is that I can get both the Ancient Watchers to survive, and then Silence Away is... man! Yeah, this is not going to go well. I have a lot of taunt up. I might be okay. Yeah, so the strategy is Delirium Librarian, the two Ancient Watchers that are sitting there ready to go, and then silence away his taunt. And push face. And then we win. That's the hope anyway. Looks like we got it. Alright, that's how you close the game out with Octosari apparently. He's really solid. Unfortunately, you can only play one of him. I think you'd play two if you could. That was a tough one. We got him down to 3 and then he almost rallied, but Octosari came through for us. Druid. Druid is a pretty good matchup for this deck. Holy Nova in particular is quite strong. I think I'm going to throw this other stuff back. I do see from the stats that Spellweaver's or Veilweaver's a better keep than I usually would think, and I even have a couple activators, but I don't think I'm going to want those for a long time, so I think I'd still rather look for the good early game. I got to keep the Holy Nova though for all of the like either Treants or the one where he gets a 2/2 for every spell in his hand. This hand is not very good. I worked out the odds of this sort of situation happening where you don't have any demons or watchers by turn 3 without the coin or turn 2 with the coin, and it's like less than a 5% chance of this happening, so this should be really rare. But unfortunately we have to deal with it right now, and we are just... Our advantage against Druid and why it's such an easy matchup usually is because we can get a much faster start than they can. Without that faster start, this probably won't go well. Pretty much anything we draw would help now, I would think. And it's better than nothing. Bit slow. Psyche splitting a Vile Fiend when it comes out is often a decent play. But that's still an extra turn away. Oof. Not very helpful. Not good to be passing this much with this deck. This is not your usual wait and see what happens priest. Might Psyche split the Vile Fiend after all, since that kills that taunt if I do. Getting the Watcher down would be nice though. I'm not going to get many guaranteed opportunities to do this. I don't want that to live. I don't think I want to coin out the renew. I want to save that renew for one of my minions to help with board. Hopefully that taunt holds up, keeps my Veil Weaver alive. So I can get more off the Veil Weaver with like Unsleeping Soul and Renew. So far the taunt is holding up. Oh no, it's not. No, he can use his hero power to finish off the Veil Weaver. It's a shame. Can use the Unsleeping Soul and the Conjured Mirror. That's probably stronger than getting it on the Ancient Watcher. Well, we finally did some damage. Going face there because I know that my Conjured Mirrors line up really well with his dragon, so I assume he wants to trade with the 5/5 over going face anyway. Plus I'm sitting on quite a bit of heal actually between the Holy Novas and the Renew, so I really am not worried about him rushing me down. I'm much more worried about things like that. Oof. Yikes. I better dig for answers. Silence helps a little bit, so I guess I'll take that. Yeah, this is not looking good. We had that really slow start hand. It's hard to recover from that. Those guys are ridiculous. I feel like this card alone was what was making Embiggen Druid like a thing in the last meta. But even that's not enough now, I guess. What can I even do here? I have to see what's behind this, I think, to have a shot. Nope. Needed a taunt to survive, but that wouldn't have helped in the long run. Definitely wasn't the problem that we had too few silences. I think I'm still feeling good about dropping one of the Delaran Librarians, and I am fairly confident that Delaran Librarian is the weakest of the silences in this deck. I'm not sure about what I'm replacing it with, Conjured Mirror or Mortuary Machine or whatever, but that we will see. I think I've been liking Mortuary Machine. I might switch this Conjured Mirror to a Mortuary Machine. I think I need to craft another Mortuary Machine. I might not even have enough dust to do it. I'm kind of dust poor right now. Taking 2.5 years off from the game is rough for trying to get back into it. I had a bunch of money stored up, but gold, I mean. Gold stored up. And dust. But I tore through that pretty fast, trying to get back into the game. I'm short on silences this time, though. But again, these are all cards that were in my deck. It's not like any of the changes are affecting that. And we're doing okay. This Demon Hunter's off to a slow start. And we were able to duplicate that Ancient Watcher, so it still had some value. Well, no, I guess I would have just been able to duplicate the Homunculus. And the Shade Quill's fine by itself. You don't need to silence the Shade Quill. It's annoying, but kind of okay too. Do I Holy Nova here? No. That 5/1's not going to last long, so I'd rather just trade that in, and then this board is definitely not worth Holy Nova. Holy Nova is a really strong card against Demon Hunter. I'd rather force him to go a bit wider to make the Holy Nova more valuable. Maybe this taunt that I have up will cause a backlog on his side that I can Nova away. I see a lot of people freezing my Watchers even though they can't do anything. Like they're not activated yet, I mean. This is still not really a great board to Holy Nova. If he attacks with the 4/3 into my Homunculus, I'll have a couple 1/1s out. Maybe I'll play some more things worth Holy Novaing finally. No, doesn't look like it. Wonder if he decides to kill off my Shade Quill. Yeah, that makes sense. Still got a small tempo advantage here, I think. That's good. I wonder if I'm going to regret not using my Holy Nova. Might not be getting much value out of it here later. He's playing something a little different than what I'm used to. Is this like some sort of combo thing? No, it's just Consume Magic that's out of place. And I am seeing one or two people play this. Sort of ironically, that's a fairly strong card against my deck because there's a lot of buffs. Even though I'm often trying to silence my own minions. It's only good whenever you get to control which ones get silenced. Okay. I guess he can... That was weird. I don't feel like he did that right. Shoot. We need silences, though. Well, Octosari will find silences for us. What? That doesn't make any sense either. What is he doing? So now either he just accepts that he's going to take 8 damage every turn, which he won't last long if he does that, or he has to give me the silences I need for my Watchers, which will start sending 9 damage his way. He's just gonna try to rush me down. I actually don't have lethal. Maybe it's behind this renew. Nope, not really. I'm just gonna go defend face because I just really don't see how I can lose from this position, other than that he has some crazy combo I'm not aware of that'll do a ton of damage to my face. That might keep him alive, actually, even with my Octosari draws. Oh, I can get rid of the taunt, so I just need another silence to use on my own minion. Yeah, okay, I've got him. Octosari for the win again. Octosari is a really powerful addition to this deck. I wish I had tried it earlier. It's hard to press that button, though, to spend 1600 dust on a card that has been pretty universally panned by people. Has Octosari ever been meta before? I missed a large period of time. If any of you guys watching along has seen like Octosari ever be meta before, I'd be curious. I'm gonna look for a way to activate that Ancient Watcher, but yeah, getting that Watcher is the first priority. No, I can use the Rager with it maybe. Shamans are a bit slow and, well, honestly just generally kind of bad, so I feel like we have a decent shot at pulling off Watcher on 2, Rager on 3. I'll save that Renew for this Veil Weaver and healing up one of these guys. Still no silence, but no reason to be anxious here. Blitzerg, bro. Nice. So next turn we could go Arcane Watcher, Coin, Librarian, and start pushing damage. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I could kill the 1/1 because it might get evolved or something, but I still think it's better to go face. See if I get punished for that. Or it could get buffed by a number of different things, either a totem specific buff or just anything. But I still think you're better off sending the 5 damage to face. Oof. There go our 5/5 and 5/6. Highlander decks are really good against this deck, mainly because of that card. If that card didn't exist, we would do pretty well against Highlander, probably. It's kind of annoying that it's that influential. I think I want that silence. I'm not going to cycle it. Agatha's scheme. We're off to a bit of a slow start here, I guess. This could go poorly. Oof. And he has a dragon? It's unfortunate. Maybe we will get use out of this Agatha scheme after all. I think the Shade Quill lines up against his board a little better than the Rusted Raider, and I can also play the Vile Fiend along with it. I am not that worried about silencing his effect yet. I'm nowhere close to rushing him down anyway, so I think if he really wants to push for the heal, he can have it. I'll save that silence for something more important. I think shamans often have things that are useful to silence away, so I might use it offensively. Or defensively? Which one is it if I use it on his minion? I'm not even sure. Yep. Okay, got the heal. I think that's fine. It's getting close to the point where I want to use this Hagatha's scheme. Kind of want to use it before he pops, but then I'm one damage short. Still probably better to use it now. So I don't hit my own guy. He's main decking that. I thought stole that. Interesting. Is this Highlander? Oh yeah, definitely Highlander. I forgot. He played Zephyrs. Highlander Shaman. I have no idea what a Highlander Shaman's trying to do. Just get value, I guess. Probably relies on that weapon a lot. That's pretty fun, where you get a minion equal to the cost of spell that you play. Anybody know the sequence of toes I have to press to make something happen? I assume something happens if you hit the right one. So like Ode to Joy? Nope. Oh man. I don't have a good answer for him, do I? Could dig with Veil Weaver. Not the worst dig I've done, but not super effective either. Oof. Highlander's not supposed to get two of those. Oh man, and they've both been gifts. He's probably main decking one more. Well, I'm still alive. But I'm giving him Reborn now. I don't think it's worth spending my holy smite on that 1/1 air token, but maybe I'll end up regretting it. Thanks. That can't be what he wanted to do there. That definitely worked out in our favor. I mean, we're still screwed, but that turn helped me a little bit. If we had drawn Octosari, for instance, we would be doing okay. Yikes. Nope, we would be dead. Yeah. Renew was the only thing that could have saved us there, and even then we need some good luck. Ooh, someone got a golden Millhouse Mana Storm. Nice. Alright. Still feeling like I'm liking those cards. Like, I felt like actually Mortuary Machine did a decent attempt at trying to rally. We were just too far behind. Maybe I will trade in that Conjured Mirage for the Mortuary Machine. Nade 8's kind of a big deal, it turns out. Conjured Mirage is interesting though, because sometimes it's even worth playing it without the intention of silencing it, like just putting up a big taunt to protect all your other big minions, so they can't just trade. That can be a big deal. I've had opponents burst through. One. Libram Paladin. I have run into a couple of these since the patch. They're pretty decent now, it turns out. I don't know if I really want Libram Paladin to be strong. I feel like it could get annoying really easily. We'll see though, it seems like a fan favorite. Our next turn is kind of awkward. The nice thing is we can silence away those Librams. Ooh, this turn just got a lot better. I think I'm not in a rush to kill that. I think I'd rather just go face. Try to rush him down. On board he can't kill anything, and we're pushing 15 damage next turn, 16 with the Psyche split. That's annoying that he's going to get some heal there, but we'll kill that. Okay, I might need to kill that too because it lines up well with my minions. Okay, we're threatening lethal now. I think they have a 5 mana 4/6 taunt, right? That's probably what he needs. Okay, that works too, I guess. I probably should have gone for the heal on this Rager over playing the Vile Fiend. I think it won't matter, but that was probably the better play. Well played. That's how this deck's supposed to work. Octosari is quickly becoming one of my favorite legendaries of all time. You gotta be careful with him though. Don't do what I did and put a, what is it? Embalm? The priest spell that casts Reborn on a minion? Yeah, don't do that to Octosari. That's... Even if he's silenced, it's a bad idea. Too many silences in our hand right now. Not enough silenceable minions. But we have some early games, so we won't just die. It does seem like the Demon Hunters are off to slower starts these days now that that patch went through. The patch is probably bad news for this deck, to be honest, because it took away some power from Hunter and Demon Hunter, which are the strongest matchups for this deck. Should redistribute the meta in an unfavorable way. But those were the two matchups where also Apotheosis kind of shined, so maybe removing Apotheosis will shift the matchups to match the meta. Switch the matchups to match the meta better. Man, this is a really slow start for a Demon Hunter. We might just run away with this one. I don't think that Mortuary Machine changes our plan. We're just gonna silence this guy. Don't see any reason to kill that 1/1. Demon Hunters aren't typically buffing their own minions. It's gonna attack the 2/5 anyway. Should be fine. Didn't attack forward. I was hoping to heal my minion back up. I might still do it. So I guess he made the right call not attacking forward. Can drop Mortuary Machine next turn. I'm pretty sure that'll work out well. It's not going to matter much if he gets any Reborn since he's so close to dead, which is part of the rationale for having Mortuary Machine in the deck anyway. The downside isn't that bad, except if you're behind, which don't fall behind, or the other situation is if they play a taunt. That's the real problem. But hopefully you can silence it or something. Some people are saying that you should run this with Mass Disenchant or whatever, but I don't think so. Like, the Reborn stuff really doesn't matter that much, in my experience, and 4 mana to not develop your board, not push damage, not remove their board is not very good for this deck. Well, I can threaten lethal again with this Mortuary Machine. He's gonna let the timer run out there, isn't he? Yep, I like the Mortuary Machine better than that Hench Clan. That one's lethal. Next turn I can play the Hench Clan and the Delirian Librarian to get rid of all the bad effects. It's been many years since I've triple booted. this guy is giving me the chance. What does everybody in chat think about all the nerfs and buffs that came out recently? Okay, did he just leave? I think he might have rage quit. Yeah, I'm seeing a good bit of Libram Paladin now too. It appears that it's back. Hey there, Verbal Lickjo, Discoder, Ginger Yovel, Cardier Logic. How's it going? Demon Hunters. I still like to see Demon Hunters. I guess especially even more now that they've been significantly weakened. One takeaway from the stats was that Hench Clan Shadequill is a better keep than I pegged it for. It's up here. Having something to play in the early game and then being able to coin into 4 Shadequill, I think I definitely want to keep that in my hand. Demon Hunter definitely feels weaker. I kind of liked it whenever they were a little bit stronger. It was very satisfying to beat Demon Hunters for a while, and I actually had a deck that could do it consistently. But I realized that they were having a pretty weird effect on the meta. The Vicious Syndicate reports made it sound like basically only Warrior was a bad matchup for them. I think we're still coining into the Shadequill on 4. Hopefully Unsleeping Souling it. Or sorry, on 3. Unsleeping Souling it on 4. And then on 5 we can play more Tray Machine and immediately silence it. That's going to be a pretty tough board for him to beat, I think. Ooh, maybe I'll even get to Unsleeping Soul the Mortuary Machine. Do you go for the greed and hold back the silence in the hopes that the next turn that you can Unsleeping Soul it and that he doesn't play anything meaningful into the Reborn? Or do you just accept that you're going to double silence the Mortuary Machine? I guess we'll have to judge where our board's at on turn 5 to make that decision. Anybody know of any secret things on this board that I can do? I think I just know the basic stuff. Can destroy a couple things. Probably can't let that Battle Fiend live. It's a shame. Even though it goes into that. Let's see here. Mortuary Machine on 5. If I silence it and I can wait a turn, I can then Arcane Watcher on Sleeping Soul on the Arcane Watcher. That's a more efficient use of cards. Is that better than just getting a second 8/8? I don't know. Might not matter if he can't build a board here. Okay, that's not very effective against my board. Is he planning to double face tank my 4/4? Okay. It's fine with me. I think we might as well just play it safe and silence that, especially since we're threatening lethal now. Don't want to give him any weird out using the reborn. So the risk is that Skull of Gul'dan sets up an Ultrius for next turn, but he needs to somehow survive this turn first. Okay, he's just showing me that he drew some stuff. We would have had a nice turn that turn anyway. We had Arcane Watcher and Faceless. Put out 2/5/6s. We had the Unsleeping Soul to duplicate the Arcane Watcher the following turn. There's no way he was going to be able to come back from that. I mean, Ultrias can work wonders, but it seemed like we were doing well. Rogue's tough for this deck. I went close to 50-50 with them on my climb, but I recognize it was a pretty tough matchup. Especially with a bad hand. This is not a good hand. That helps though. That helps a ton. That almost turns this into an okay hand. Because now we can face this Rage Raid on 3. We're just missing turns 2 and 4. We might draw into them. We whipped on 2. That's usually a bad sign. It's nice how when those demons come out, you can quick copy their health before someone has a chance to kill them. Homunculus into Faceless Rager is a fantastic combo, and Imprisoned Vile Fiend into Coin Psyche Split is a pretty good combo too. The fact that they are effectively stealthed, better than stealthed, completely indestructible, it's pretty good. Holy Nova's looking pretty good right now, even though he doesn't have a big board, just to get the health back. Less good now that I don't get to kill that, but maybe I'll still take it. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. Kills the 3/1 and heals my minions 3. I'll take it. Gives me a chance to get a Psyche Split target next turn, which is really critical since I don't have any other minions. I really need these minions to survive. Oof, that's unfortunate. I don't know if we'll be able to recover from him killing that. That was our Psyche Split target of choice. I think I'll take the Psyche Split on the Homunculus, but it's obviously not as good. And I don't think cleaning up one of those 1/1s is going to make a difference. Cleaning up minions, if you can clear their board, is pretty good against Rogue, but just picking off a single 1/1 is not going to make a difference. Oof. It's no good. Dropping that Shade Quill into a knife doesn't feel good, but what else am I going to do? I'm still pushing damage. Not for much longer, though. Maybe if I draw an Octosari in the next couple turns, I'll be able to do something. Maybe I really need to renew, though. Luck into some spell that bails me out. Can save my knife for something. Yeah, I really need Octosari now. Hey, I asked for him and I received him. You've angered Octosari. Man, do I ditch this silence so that I draw a full hand? I think no. But maybe I should have played the silence on that guy. I'm not assuming that Octosari is going to die this turn. Could definitely happen. He's getting a bunch of free cards. And if he doesn't die this turn, I'm going to want that silence around, probably. Yep. Ooh. He already spent Flick. This is so tough. If I can duplicate him in multiple ways, right? So one option is to Psyche Split him as is. Then I have the potential to draw like 16 cards. I'll overdraw a ton, but maybe I won't get to fatigue too fast. I'll get to fatigue pretty fast. I could silence him, then Psyche Split him. Yeah, I think I just have to... So he already used Flick. I think we have to go with this play, right? So you first silence his ability. And then... Oh no! I think I screwed up, right? The better play would probably have been to Psyche Split first and then play the Unsleeping Soul on one of them. So that one Octosari still has his draw 8 cards. Hopefully this is enough to do it anyway. We're also sitting on a silence, which can get rid of a taunt. So he needs to kill 2 of these, and taunts aren't good enough. Or, you know, he can just bounce them, I suppose, too. But if he bounces them, I get a chance to draw off of the Octosari again. Okay, he can just kill everything. Rogue. Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna get punished for making that mistake of silencing all the Octosaris. That was a huge error. Let's dig. Huh. Awesome. Alright. Army of Octosaris, can you get it done? I don't have my silence anymore for taunt. I used that to dig with the Veil Weaver. Come on. Let me have this one. I played 4 Octosaris. What do you want? Hey there, Dr. J. How's it going? And Druperchi. And Petermux. He copied my Octosari. We want even more Octosaris in this game. Alright. That was a fun one. Yeah, I'll go for the exact lethal. Good game.